It is regatta weekend in the beautiful city of Pittsburgh, right on the mouth of the Three Rivers. It is USL soccer on this Saturday night. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the Richmond Kickers welcome in, along with my partner George Metellus. I'm Ken Levicka, and we're hoping that this soccer is as beautiful as the weather right now in the mid-70s, because both offenses have really struggled, and both squads fighting for the hope of playoff pictures and potential in the Eastern Conference, but it's going to be a long road. Let's go to our players to watch tonight, and we will start with Richmond, and it's Raul Gonzalez we're taking a look at.
Yeah, we're talking about teams making a run for the playoffs. He's got to step up his game. This man right here, Raul Gonzalez, a goal and an assist. If he plays better, if he can step up his game and be a creative force in attack, Richmond can go on a bit of a winning streak here, get some points, and get back into playoff contention. But he has to step up his game and play much better.
Richmond second to last in the USL in scoring goals. Here's Pittsburgh, and our player to watch is, of course, the leading scorer for the Riverhounds, Cory Hertzog.
Yeah, very dependable goal scorer for Pittsburgh and David Brandt's men. 7 goals, 2 assists on the season. He is the center forward. He's got to finish his opportunities, but he's going to need service from the midfield in order to really threaten this Richmond defense. So we'll see how the midfield stacks up and plays in order to give the service to Cory Hertzog in this game.
Pittsburgh unable to find the back of the net in the loss to Tampa Bay last Saturday. Let's go through our starting 11, and we'll start with Richmond. The aforementioned Raul Gonzalez at the top of the formation as he tries to get some offense for this squad.
Yeah, Raul Gonzalez, expect him to drop back in the midfield a little bit, try to help out Sonny Jane, the number 10. I always say, if you got the number 10 on your back, you better start creating and be that playmaker. It's like wearing the number 23 in basketball. People are going to look at you a little bit differently. If those two can connect and play well, they will come out with a victory. They can certainly improve their chances.
Pittsburgh starting 11 looks significantly different from what it did 7 nights ago in the loss to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they've made 5 changes from the side that lost to Tampa Bay. David Brandt going with almost an entirely different team. I mean, almost half the team has changed. So we'll see how that works out, if that chemistry, that cohesion works together to get Pittsburgh a victory at home.
Pittsburgh and Richmond clinging to playoff hopes in the Eastern Conference of the USL. Pittsburgh 12th place, Richmond 2 spots below them. Can they find a goal tonight? We will see. Pittsburgh and Richmond coming up after this. It's USL Soccer.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Can you hear me? Yeah. How many times have you done it before? You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. Yep, just stay here for a little bit. Hold it for that. Yeah.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with a sports medicine specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Stay low, stay low, change of speed, explode, explode, trust it. Very nice, very nice.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with an orthopedic specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Stay low, change of speed, explode, explode, trust it. Very nice.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with an orthopedic specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. You see the skyline in the background. Some light cloud cover, not expecting any sort of weather, though, tonight as Pittsburgh and Richmond are about to tangle. Pittsburgh comes into tonight 5-8-8 overall. 23 points in the USL Eastern Conference table, 12th place. As for Richmond, it has been a slog. Have only one win since April 22nd. That actually came back on July 22nd, a 3-2 victory over Bethlehem Steel FC. Richmond 3-11-7, 21 points, 2 spots back of Pittsburgh in the table. When you look at something like this, George Metellus, two teams that have struggled offensively, but this is one of those instances where maybe you see a 3-2, 4-3, 5-4 game, as Dave Brandt pointed out to us earlier this week.
Yeah, absolutely. When two teams are struggling offensively in attack, what will happen is the coaches will want to generate goal-scoring opportunities, so that means the game will open up. Expect more spaces, a lot more wide play, a lot more pace down the wings, the left and right side. That usually opens up some activity in the middle as well. So even the teams, sometimes when they struggle to score goals, it's not so much generating chances as it is finishing the chances. So if both teams can just continue to generate chances, we could see a lot of goals here. And these two teams are decent defensive, like mid-table in terms of defense goals conceded. So the opportunity is there for this game to be very entertaining with a lot of goals.
Pittsburgh in the black kits tonight with the white trim and the silver lettering and numbering. Richmond in their road whites with the red lettering and numbering. And we have a handball to get things underway. Pittsburgh again, 23 points in the table, 12th in the USL Eastern Conference. Richmond, only 3 victories on the season. They are 14th in the East, but one of those 3 wins coming against Pittsburgh on April 22nd. That was a 2-1 Richmond victory. That was a rain-soaked contest. And we have an issue with the restart. These two teams have faltered in a big way, as we've been discussing. Scoring goals, Pittsburgh 24th in the entire USL, 19 goals this season. As for Richmond, 13 goals. That is 29th. The only team worse than them is Toronto, too.
Well, it's tough to have any chance, to have any hope, if you can't score goals. This is very simple formula. You score goals, you win, you move on.
Here is a free kick lofted into the box. It's controlled to the outside of the area. A shot with the left foot is controlled nicely by Trey Mitchell. But early pressure, and you like to see that after some loose ball discombobulation there in the box and test the keeper early.
Yeah, especially if you're the visiting squad, you want to take your chances as early as possible. You want to keep the pressure on the home team in your attacking half and your attacking third as much as possible. So that's a good start for Richmond. Now they just have to continue to do so and, you know, continue that momentum going forward.
Patrick McCann decided to give that a go for Richmond, the midfielder. Now here's Pittsburgh with its first sustained possession of tonight's match. Again, these two teams back on April 22nd. A 2-1 Richmond victory. One of the goal scorers in that game for Richmond was Alhaji Kamara, who is no longer with the club on the season.
Yeah, that's huge when you lose your leading goal scorer, and especially in the middle of the season when you've developed all that chemistry, when you've developed all that cohesion through training camp and preseason, and then in the middle of the season he leaves a huge hole, and now it's up to someone to step up and fill that hole and pick up that goal scoring slack. Who will it be? Well, maybe this game will be the beginning of that, answering that question.
Lee Collishaw, the manager of Richmond since 2000. He is hoping that perhaps Raul Gonzalez or Matt Bolduc tonight can take care of the scoring to the top of that formation. Pittsburgh, home sweet home for them, and they have not been home an awful lot since the 1st of July. 6 matches in July, 4 of those away from home. In fact, Pittsburgh did not win at all in the month of July. They bookended the month with 2 losses, but also went unbeaten in the 4 matches between that. So sort of an up and down month where you're not really sure how to grade it if you're a Pittsburgh Riverhounds fan.
Well, I think if you're a Riverhounds fan, and you're getting a lot of draws, then it's a C. You know, draws in the middle.
Sure.
The C is in the middle. It's not bad, but it's not great either. But there are stretches in a season, especially a long season like in the USL, where if you just can escape with points, if you're not playing well, that keeps your chances of qualifying for the playoffs alive. So while obviously they would prefer to win, if they're not playing well and they're struggling and they can get draws and keep splitting the points, it helps them in the long term in terms of qualifying for the playoffs. Knowing you can pick up a point when you don't play well is a very encouraging sign or encouraging mentality for a team.
Meanwhile, Richmond, prior to that win, before beating Bethlehem on July 22nd, it was 13 winless in a row for Richmond. It has been a rough go of it for the Kickers. A bit of a unorganized start here for both teams, but coming up the left side was Taylor Washington for Pittsburgh. And now in the middle, here's Okai. Okai plays it forward. This is Walsh. Walsh will send it back towards Okai as Pittsburgh tries to exploit this back four for Richmond. Here's a cross into the area, but that off a deflection is collected by Matt Turner.
Yeah, good organization by the Richmond back line, that Richmond defense, in which no changes. If you look at the defense with regards to the matchup against St. Louis, it's the same back line, same goalkeeper, obviously. They only gave up one goal, played well defensively, so Lee Calishaw trusting his defense for this game as well. And as long as they stay organized and basically keep the Pittsburgh attacking players in front of them, don't allow them to pass behind them or run in behind them, they can get another clean sheet, or they can get a clean sheet, I should say, and at least come out of here with a point.
And as you said, these are two middle of the table, if not better, defenses in Pittsburgh and Richmond. That hasn't been necessarily the issue this season.
Right. It's been the scoring goals. As you know, as I said before, it's a very simple formula. You score more goals, you win. It's very easy. That's the whole point of the game. And if you don't finish those chances, you're not going to win. So Richmond has to find a way to finish the chances. I'm sure they're generating goal-scoring opportunities, but if you don't finish them, they're useless.
Here's Kevin Kerr. Thought for a moment he had more real estate than he did, decides to keep it in the midfield, and now a long ball played forward on the run. Can Walsh get to this and send in a cross? It bounces on the artificial turf across the end line, and a goal for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was good idea though, especially Walsh. He did get in behind the back line, and the flag stayed down. So the timing was there, just the pass was a little bit long, but that's something that Hollingsworth, he sees now. He sees when that back line is a little too high and when Walsh makes the run. And next time with a little less weight on the pass, he might be able to connect and create a chance for Walsh.
Richmond leads the all-time series against Pittsburgh. 19-8-5 is Richmond against the Riverhounds. 8-2-5 since 2011. It's been fairly one-sided. Pittsburgh also could not get Richmond's number earlier this season in that aforementioned match that we talked about on April 22nd, that 2-1 Richmond victory. Here's a ball played back, saved from going for a Richmond corner. That was nicely done by Jamal Jack, playing left back tonight. A deflection leading to a potential Richmond chance. It's in the area, played back, and it'll be out of Wallay, who's able to clear it away, but some very, very shaky moments on that back four for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, sloppy passing by that back four of Pittsburgh, and that might be something that Richmond can exploit. If they can maybe press a little bit, put some pressure on that back line, force a couple of turnovers, and they're deep in their attacking third, that might create some goal-scoring opportunities as well. So look for Pittsburgh to tighten that up in that back line.
What's been incredible for Richmond this season, they are 6th in the USL in shots taken. They have 263 shots, but only 13 goals. That's an efficiency of 7% as the flag goes up and Richmond is offside. So they are taking their chances and they're firing away, at least in the general direction of the goal. But getting it across the goal line has been a different story.
Yeah, that's very difficult. A lot of people say that the most difficult thing in soccer, and I call it football soccer, to differentiate between American football and soccer, but the most difficult thing to do is score, because it takes that special quality. You have good defenders in front of you as well. So that's the main problem for Richmond, is just the finishing. If they can improve on that, then they have a chance to get into the play. If you're 6th in shots, then you're a playoff team in that respect. But if you're not finishing, That's ultimately going to be the downfall.
It all ultimately too suggests that perhaps the chances aren't there. The shots are there, but taking shots and having chances are two very different things.
Absolutely, because you know, right there, Oscar Umar can shoot from there, and that's a shot.
Right.
But if you get clever with your possession through the midfield, knock the ball through, keep the ball on the ground, run into space, play the ball into space, then you're creating chances, forcing goalkeepers to either come off the line or make big saves, or if you hit the post or something like that. But shots and creating chances definitely are two different things.
Here's Raul Gonzalez, plays it to the middle, able to connect into the box, tried to play it through. It was broken up. Umar could not find a man making a cut. Played forward, Jane's offside, just by a couple of steps. Jamal Jack immediately raised his hand, said, "Where's my flag?" He got it. But Richmond, there is some solid possession.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see.
Take a look at the outside, and it looks, this is close, and it's not the greatest angle, but it does look like Sonny Jane is off by about a step and a half.
But great pass there to slice through that Pittsburgh defense. And Jamal Jack shouldn't be looking for the linesman. He needs to be looking at his teammates saying, hey, where's the marking here? You left this man wide open. If it wasn't for the fact that I was well positioned, it's a good opportunity. So Jamal Jack has to be looking at his teammates there. That's when everybody has to be on the same page.
A restart here for Pittsburgh, and it's played off to the far side. We are in the 11th minute. Neither team has had glorious chances. This is played off to the right-hand side. Here's Hollingsworth. Out of the back, now up into the midfield. It's worked off to the far side and then played on to Hertzog, the leading goal scorer, but he gives it away. Can Richmond get out on the counter? The answer is no. Pittsburgh, a nice job to recover, and Okai will get possession back for the Riverhounds.
You know, fortunately for Richmond, that Imura's first touch went the wrong way. It was too heavy, and that allowed Pittsburgh's defense, or a couple of the midfield players, to converge on him and win back possession. A better first touch. He makes a turn, and he's off to the races, and with plenty of green in front of him toward the goal of Trey Mitchell.
Stephen Okai will play it off to the left. Coming out of the back is Adewale. It was knocked down, though, by Oscar Umar. The midfield trading turnovers here early. That's been a consistent theme of the opening 12 minutes for both sides. Okai able to dribble through traffic, but a giveaway. Richmond on the run. Turning with the ball. That's Bulldog, but he is dispossessed. Able to stay on his feet and continue forward for Pittsburgh is Jamal Jack.
Well, both teams sloppy passing in the midfield, first of all, but both teams actually doing a very good job of dropping back and getting numbers behind the ball as well. That cuts down the spaces, that cuts down the angles as well. So there's a combination right now of sloppy passing and just numerical supremacy by both midfields when they drop back defensively.
Taylor Washington was able to slide a feed to the wing away. It was intended for Gonzalez, and Richmond's going to have to play it into the back.
I think if both teams are struggling through the middle, I know we had the one chance where Jane was offsides, but if you're struggling through the middle, it might be the best solution to start playing out wide, stretch out the defenses a little bit, and then once those defenses are stretched out, then you quick passing through the middle to exploit those spaces. But right now, everything is clogged in the middle, and it's not really working for both teams.
Both teams certainly still feeling out the match a bit here.
Yeah,
we are scoreless, and as we've been discussing, that was nearly an issue for Adewale, and he'll play a long ball forward. The midfield has been sloppy. Not a bad look for Hertzog. The pass just off to his left and collected by Matt Turner. Sure, that pass was into traffic, but that was a little bit more on the mark than I think we initially thought it would be.
Yeah, for sure. And one way to avoid the problems passing through the midfield is play a long ball over the top.
Here's Raul Gonzalez. Gonzalez got by his man. He's got some freedom in the box. Feeds it to the middle. Left-footed shot is blocked away. Sonny Jen with the attempt. It's still in play, however. And now Richmond will have it deflected and set out of play. But Raul Gonzalez showing good speed, getting around the edge. It was Braden Troyer who could not pull the trigger on that shot from outside the area. But Richmond showing some good pressure in that sequence.
Yeah, well done by Gonzalez to get into the area and break through that Pittsburgh defense. Unfortunately, he made a great pass to Sonny Jane. Jane just took an extra touch, and that closed the door. The Pittsburgh defenders closing the door on him, and he couldn't really make force Mitchell into a save. Obviously, the defense tightening up in front of him. So there's things starting to open up a little bit for Richmond.
Troyer off a feed from Gonzalez. He'll play to McCann. McCann into the box. It's chested down by Jane. Umar plays it back out. Nobody home, but a whistle. And it looks like we have a foul.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly what the call was. I think that Pittsburgh wanted to play advantage.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there was a foul there. Either that or offsides. I believe it was a foul. And I think Kevin Kerr, who's the captain for Pittsburgh, he has a good point there. If it's a foul in favor of Pittsburgh, let play go on, because he had a break. He had a counterattack going. It was an offsides. He had a counterattack going. You know, play the advantage. You know, home field advantage is important.
That's right. Especially for a team that hasn't been at home in a while.
Exactly.
Very often.
Give the home field give the advantage play on and see what happens. You know, that's one thing. Officiating isn't just fouls and cards, but also allowing the game to flow and allowing the rhythm to take place. And unfortunately, it stopped the rhythm right there for Pittsburgh.
Gonzalez, nifty footwork, and then Umar pushes it to the outside. Jane across into the box. It is unable to connect, though, with Umar, who is the nearest player there. It's collected, though, on the right side. Umar trying to send it across. That was deflected, but it's going to go for a corner after Thompson of Pittsburgh sent it across the end line. So our first corner of the matchup coming.
If you are a Pittsburgh fan right now, you have to be worried about how easily Richmond in the last 5 minutes or so have been able to get into the penalty area, either with dribbling or with crosses. And if it wasn't for some last-ditch defending, there might be a goal, or Trey Mitchell will have to make a save. So this is a concern for Pittsburgh right now.
Here's Jane with the left-footed corner. On the near post, it's headed, and it's just wide. Nearly finding the near post was Umar, who was unmarked.
That's straight off the training ground right there. Near post service. Umar flashing in. He just couldn't bend that header there, but straight out of the training ground. And you can see not many Pittsburgh defenders moving. They weren't expecting that one. That's well done by Richmond. Unfortunately, it didn't go over the line into the back of the net.
Richmond has been the superior team offensively, however, here through 17 minutes, and that's not something that they could brag being the case for a good portion of this entire 2017 season. Gonzalez, nifty head, but Umar unable to track it down, and Pittsburgh maintains the possession. Nearly another turnover, though, in the midfield from Pittsburgh. This has been very sloppy. A long ball sent forward. Hertzog is going to be unable to beat Roberts to the ball. And this will end up going for a goal kick.
Yeah, good job by Roberts there. You want your center backs, if they're going up against a very good star striker, you want them to be physical. And what he did there, just fundamental center back play. You get your body between the ball and the attacker, and you roll it out. Make sure you secure that position, and it usually goes in your favor. And Richmond with the possession on the goal kick.
Pittsburgh, as we mentioned, 23 points in the table. They are 12th in the USL. Certainly hope not lost for them yet in the USL playoff picture, but as the weeks go by, it continues to wane. We have a stoppage. And I believe we had an offside called. And this will be a Richmond possession.
It's like Walsh was the one complaining the most. So, and the timing has been off. Offsides is always about timing. And on a couple of occasions, the timing has been off for Pittsburgh. And with Richmond now being able to look the better side or the more dangerous side and attack, the back line's going to creep higher and higher. So they want to try to break through with a counterattack there. Pittsburgh does, but it hasn't quite worked. A couple of offsides. Long balls that were too long, too heavy, the passes, so got to tighten that up here for the rest of this first half.
It's a good look there at Matt Turner, the Richmond goalkeeper. 3 clean sheets this season for Turner. On the other side, Trey Mitchell has 5 clean sheets. That's 10th in the USL. Here's another long ball forward. This has not been a very aesthetically pleasing offensive attack for Pittsburgh here early on. Long ball after long ball, unable to connect.
Yeah, it's frustration through the midfield, trying to bypass the midfield to get it to Hertzog and Walsh. The problem is with those long balls, you have to be very accurate, and you have to catch the defense napping, making a mistake. And Richmond's defense so far has been very good. They haven't made those mistakes that allowed Hertzog or Walsh to get through.
Had some trouble in the back that time. Troyer, though, was able to recover, but now here's Pittsburgh trying to put some shape to their attack. Kerr lofts it into the area. It's headed out without much problem by Umar. And now Richmond will try and hit on the counter. Instead, though, it's played back. Gonzalez with a right foot punches it high into the air to Sonny Jane. Now Richmond up the right side. Both teams looking for the breakthrough. There's a poor pass, and Okai able to collect. Now a ball played for. That's a good ball. Walsh cannot get to it, though. That was nicely done to recover in the back by Milan Roberts of Richmond.
Yeah, but that's kind of what Pittsburgh can do here when Richmond have the possession. When they get the possession and you see them getting more passes and drifting more forward, the back line is going to creep up higher and higher. And if Pittsburgh can win possession quickly, make the right pass quickly, they'll have an opportunity. So even though that was carved out there by Roberts, well done defensively, it was a one-on-one situation. The right pass, the right angle, and Walsh has a chance.
Okai in the midfield, playing central mid tonight. 5 changes to this Pittsburgh starting 11 compared to what we saw 7 nights ago in the 2-0 loss at Tampa Bay.
When you have that many changes, cohesion is a major factor, but also it's a chance for some guys to...
It's played forward, and Jane was offside for a second time.
It's also a chance for some players to prove that they belong as a regular starter on the team. So in a sense, this is a tryout for the 5 players that did not start against Tampa Bay.
We were talking about that July where Pittsburgh bookended it with losses. First match of July, a defeat. Last match of July, a defeat. That was the Tampa Bay game. But then 4 draws in between. In July, though, there's a foul, and that was an easy call on the far side. This will be a dangerous free kick area for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh played the 4 top teams in the Eastern Conference, and then also played 4 matches away from home. That was far and away the most difficult month of the season for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and they managed to get 4 draws. You can't knock them for that. You know, when you have a tough schedule like that and you lose a couple, that's to be expected. But when you don't play well and you get 4 draws against some of the top teams, that's something that they can build some confidence off of. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that they got 4 straight draws like that.
Kerr off the free kick into the box, headed down, and it'll be played off by Troyer, and a deflection will go out of play. This goes through a Pittsburgh throw. And Hertzog will now set up his offense.
He's going to float this one into the penalty area.
And here it comes. You're exactly right. They jump for it. It's loose in the area, but it's cleared out with a left foot. That was dangerous for a second.
At first, I think Hertzog wanted to play it quickly to Okai, but more like a corner, like a set piece from that distance. So.
And now Richmond trying to hit on the counter once again. Turning, maintaining possession. That's Bulldog at forward, playing back there, trying to get his squad on the run, but it'll instead be out of play for a Pittsburgh throw-in.
That's some hard work there by Walsh. The striker, one of your goal scorers, your number 9, dropping back to win the ball, put pressure, playing with a lot of energy in this match.
The aforementioned Walsh will fire from about 28 yards rather. It's deflected out of play. Quick throw. Hertzog will try and throw it towards goal, and that'll go for a goal kick. A bit ambitious there for Pittsburgh's leading goal scorer.
Yeah, we haven't seen Pittsburgh get into the penalty area and even take a shot inside the penalty area. We've seen Richmond a couple of times, but the passing of Pittsburgh just hasn't been there. They haven't been able to make those connections. They're trying to play those quick counters, and it hasn't quite worked. Richmond's defense so far holding up very well. They're communicating very well, and that's been the key so far in terms of keeping Pittsburgh out of the penalty area.
With George Metellus, I'm Ken Levicka. We are in the 24th minute here at beautiful Highmark Stadium, right on the river, the downtown portion of Pittsburgh right behind us, and good defensive play from Yambi to knock down what would have been, I believe, an onside as Siobhan Walsh was streaking towards goal. And we'll have a throw-in. But we have an injured Richmond player. That's Oscar Umar. He'll be checked on. Pittsburgh coming in off of a loss to Tampa Bay on Saturday. Richmond a 1-0 loss to St. Louis a week ago. Pittsburgh has not won since June 22nd. Richmond won on July 22nd, but that was their first win in 14 tries. So both squads have really not had the 2017s they were looking for. This is crucial tonight. If one of these squads can get 3 points out of this, they're at least in the discussion in the Eastern Conference in the USL.
Yeah, for sure. The winner of this match will certainly give themselves a much better opportunity, obviously, to go into the playoffs. And the loser, well, obviously, mathematically, they're still in it, but maybe more so they can play spoiler and prevent some teams from getting into the playoffs, or expose some teams that are going to the playoffs that other playoff teams can use when they watch the film and say, hey, Richmond did this, Pittsburgh did this to this team. We can do that to this team to beat them and knock them out. So there's more than just playoff implications in terms of getting into the playoffs with this matchup. There's also some tactical stuff that coaches can use to say, oh, we can exploit this by doing this with our team in the playoffs. So so much is riding on this game outside of just getting into the playoffs or creating a winning streak or playing better soccer. It really is an intense situation for both of these teams.
Richmond has now not scored in 208 minutes of match action, going back to their 3-2 win against Bethlehem Steel FC back on the 22nd of July. So an ongoing goal drought here for Richmond. And that's frustrating as a team. Pittsburgh hasn't exactly lit up the nets, though, this year in the USL either. And they were unable to tally a goal against Tampa Bay last Saturday. Here's a giveaway in the midfield. Full head of steam for Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, though, was chipped and taken down, but Pittsburgh able to maintain possession. It's played back. Here's Kevin Kerr. Kerr linked to the field, trying to find Thompson, I believe, easily headed out. But Okai able to retrieve, and Pittsburgh, good hard work there in the midfield.
Pittsburgh right now needs someone who is going to run at the defense and break down players one-on-one.
There's a play off to the left, and able to watch it roll out of play. That was Yambi, and then he took a bit of a tumble at the end of that play. Looks like his legs were kicked out from under him, but no foul. Rather, that was Jalen Robinson.
Yeah. Right now, Pittsburgh, the way they're passing the ball, it's looking tough. They can't break down Richmond's defense. So what they need to do, they're going to need one person, maybe Hertzog, maybe Walsh, maybe even Hollingsworth. One of the wing backs has to do something in terms of maybe a one-on-one situation, break down a player, open up a space for the defense, and then go from there. Perhaps
something here. Here's Walsh, able to body his man off the ball, plays it back to Kerr. Kerr with the cross. It's low. It's right over the crossbar. That was a glorious chance for Cory Hertzog with some nifty passing across on the mark, but Hertzog couldn't finish.
Oh, Hertzog, a sneaky run. Nobody saw Hertzog coming except Kevin Kerr. It's a well-timed run, perfect angle, and he just couldn't keep that shot down. But give credit to Cory Hertzog. He timed his run. The Richmond defense completely lost him. And when you have a goal scorer like Hertzog, you cannot lose him. You have to make sure he is marked at all times. Clever run there by Hertzog. Unfortunately, he didn't finish it.
A nifty punch forward by Hertzog. Nearly found Walsh, who's done nothing but make runs towards goal on long balls all evening long to this point. Man, what a picture-perfect cross from Kerr on that Hertzog scoring chance.
And we said it earlier in the match. For Pittsburgh to look dangerous because they're having problems through the midfield, maybe you have to start playing out wide. That service came from out wide with Kevin Kerr.
Good things happen when you move the ball around.
Exactly, yeah. If you just choose one path toward the goal, it's much easier to defend. But if you diversify the attack, go out wide on occasion, go up the middle, play it from the back as well, you put the defense at a disadvantage, you keep them guessing, and that makes your job easier. That creates opportunities. So maybe they have to play out wide, spread out this Richmond defense some more.
Here's Kevin Kerr. Survey sends it into the middle. It's collected there by Thompson. Thompson tried to send it out wide, and that was easily chested down by Troyer. But here's Pittsburgh, remaining the attacking third. Played through, wanted Walsh. Good sliding job there by Yambi to break it up. Richmond's so strong in the back tonight.
Yeah, they're playing really well in the back right now, except for obviously the Hertzog run, but Hertzog made a very intelligent run, sneaky run to create that opportunity. But for Richmond, it's all about just keeping their shape and making sure no one gets in behind them in the defense. That's the key.
Here's Walsh. Walsh punches it to the far post, was looking for Hertzog. It was too far in front of him, and it'll be a goal kick here for Richmond. Not a bad idea, though, from Walsh.
Yeah, and you got to like the fact that Walsh is starting to run into space a couple of times. He's decided to take it upon himself, not just stand there and wait for the service, but run into space, create some opportunities. And what has to happen is Walsh, on that particular play, he went out to the right. The defender went with him. That opens up a space in the middle. So if somebody's in the middle, maybe they can create an opportunity there. So running off the ball has a lot of benefits, we put it that way, yeah.
Here's Kerr. He'll play it up the right side. Hollingsworth with a cross, and it is cleared out of play, but it'll go for a corner. It was Roberts who sent it into the stands behind the goal. Matt Turner at the last moment asked him, why didn't you let me collect that? Communication not exactly great on that sequence.
And now we're starting to see Pittsburgh open things up, look more dangerous down the right side of their attack. They've seen something on the left side of Richmond's defense that they can exploit.
It'll be Kerr with the cross. It's low, near post. It is punched away, no problems, and Umar will keep it in play. Here's Jane. Nice turn. Can Richmond get out on the run? The answer is yes. Umar was able to send it off of Washington's legs, but Pittsburgh able to come back, recover, and it's played back to Mitchell.
How about Washington, though? The left back going all the way over to the right to prevent a Richmond counterattack and Richmond attack. So well done by Taylor Washington, coming from his left back position all the way over to play defense and keep Richmond from generating another attack.
Desperation defense is rarely a bad thing.
Yeah, and that's also very good coaching as well by David Brent. He sees that, okay, the attack is coming up from the right side mostly, so the left back has to stay back and defend. And usually your left back is faster than the center back, so he reads the play, comes over, makes the defense. So good coaching and as you said, desperate defending. It works as well, so combination of both.
Starting to hit the twilight stages of this first half. Scoreless between Pittsburgh and Richmond. Umar, pass was behind him. Richmond able to collect, however, with Raul Gonzalez, the forward. Played off to the right side. Ball sent down the wing. Wanted Jane. This will be Jamal Jack, who watches it roll out of play. Good defensive play by the very large and imposing Jamal Jack.
Yeah, the Trinidad international. You could see he's about, what, a head taller than Jack or than Jane?
It's not real close.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be playing balls in the air to Sonny Jane with Jamal Jack back there for sure.
This game has developed a bit of a flow after the opening 10-11 minutes. There really was nothing of the sort. Both teams have had one really good chance apiece. Richmond's coming off of a corner, and Pittsburgh just about 4.5 minutes ago on a Kerr cross that found the right foot of an unmarked Hertzog, but went up and over the crossbar.
Richmond now, they have to find a way to get a spell, get some time here, get some possession here, because Pittsburgh is growing in confidence in their attack, especially down the right side of the Pittsburgh attack, the left side of the Richmond defense. So Richmond have to regain possession here. Umar is going to have to do a better job of maintaining possession, getting a better first touch in the ball. He did that there, and now Richmond is moving forward.
This is played up ahead to Jane. Jane in traffic, turns left foot, and that was easily footed down by Adewale, and Mitchell able to come and fall on the ball.
One header, great header there by Bolduc, and then Jane using his body, twisting, turning. And does well, and Trey Mitchell is awake in the back as the goalkeeper.
Jane, nice turn, and the touch was good,
yeah,
but then the shot failed him.
Yep, he also had two bodies in front of him, and he's a smaller player compared to those two big defenders, so it was tough. But still an encouraging sign that he is able to get in behind that defense, carve out and find some space, get a touch onto it, and settle. Now it's just a matter of getting some teammates to run with him so that he can lay it off to one of them and they can shoot.
Here's Roberts playing it out of the back for Richmond. He'll bring it to the midfield and play it forward. Wanted Jane, but Jane once again bodied off the ball, and Trey Mitchell is back in the mix.
Yeah, we've seen Jane now kind of switch up with Umar, and Jane is moving up. He's kind of he's moved up into that center forward role, and Umar is dropping into the midfield with Gonzalez out on the left. So they're trying to create space for Jane so that he can gain possession and use Gonzalez's playmaking skills on the left side to hold possession and obviously connect with Jane as well. So a little bit of a switch in the tactics there by Lee Cowlishaw.
Jack passed it right to a Richmond player, and that was Troyer, who then did not get a good touch on that and sent it right back to Mitchell. You can see Bolduc on the far side for Richmond, wondering why that just wasn't sent to the outside. Bolduc had a lot of room to run up the wing.
Yeah, a lot of times you get overconfident in your passing ability in terms of the long ball, and you go to it too often, and that just disrupts the flow of the game. It doesn't allow for a team to hold on and move the ball forward, move the ball in attack with possession.
Gonzalez, who hasn't had a touch in an awful long time, plays it back. It's sent forward. Here's Bolduc. Bolduc, though, watches as Adewale is able to dispossess him. Bolduc was able to win it back, but he's called for a foul. Looks like he got a handful of jersey on Adewale.
Ooh, I think Bolduc was upset there, but Adewale was a little too relaxed in terms of bringing the ball out. He does well to get the possession. He's looking up, gets relaxed there, trying to look for a teammate. I don't know if there was a foul there. There was some contact. That was close. But Adewale has to be much more attentive with the ball at his feet.
And that was a much more attentive play. That was Jack who's able to head it back to Trey Mitchell with Bolduc in pursuit.
And you can see both goalkeepers, every time they get the ball, they're going long. They're trying to.
Hertzog couldn't turn on that. That was shaky in the back there for Richmond, but we went goalkeeper to goalkeeper.
Yep, we've seen a couple of times, anytime the goalkeepers had to play the ball with their feet, they're sending it long, trying to bypass the midfield, see if they can get an aerial situation where one of the strikers can connect to it and then make the turn toward goal. So a little bit of maybe mistrust in the way the midfield has played so far in this match.
Well, neither midfield has been very good here tonight.
Right.
So you don't necessarily blame the goalkeepers like you were mentioning. Bypass them, see if you can't get a ball to take a bounce and have one of your forwards collect. Here's Okai, who actually has been fairly solid in the midfield for Pittsburgh, playing it forward, but Richmond wins possession once again.
Yeah, they call it going route one. Goalkeeper blasts it long like that, going route one. Right now, route one has a bunch of potholes in it and, you know, barricades.
There's construction.
And stuff. Yeah, there's construction. Yep. Might be some landmines. You never know. So hasn't quite worked out for either squad. But both teams have looked more dangerous when they keep the ball on the ground and they string together 6 or 7 passes, find the open man, find the open space, and then go from there. So it's a matter of finding that consistency right now for both teams.
We're in the final 7 minutes and change of the opening half here at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. Gorgeous night here in the Alleghenies.
Yeah, the backdrop of the river is great. It is really, this is a really scenic stadium. Pittsburgh is very fortunate to play. The backdrop of the river is beautiful.
Yeah, this is the most scenic stadium in the USL. I have no problem saying that. And Bolduc who was taken down from behind, is injured. Danny Earls called for the foul. Don't see a card. Looks like Earls is going to go unscathed from a card standpoint, and I'm not sure he should.
Intact.
Take one more look at this here. Well, studs weren't up.
Yeah.
But it actually looks like there was a
yellow card.
And it is a card, so Earls does indeed get a yellow.
Yeah, it wasn't so much for the contact as it was just kind of the reckless nature of the sliding tackle more than anything.
Coming
the contact,
from behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The contact wasn't severe. It was light contact, but because of the fact that it was reckless, coming from behind the blind side of the player, that's why it goes in the book. And by the rule, that's the way it should be.
So Earls, the Irishman, for Pittsburgh, the first yellow of the night. Our first card of the evening. Troyer plays a long ball ahead, wanted Jane, but look at Bolduc coming from behind, putting pressure on Adewale. Adewale, however, will send it out of play, and Bolduc came up a bit lame, limping a bit on his left leg. Here's Jane, sends in a left-footed cross, that's headed out of trouble. It's collected by Walsh, and he'll sideswipe it forward. Played back in, though, by Richmond. Now it's being headed around, and Richmond finally able to play it into the midfield. Back heel pass and a turnover. Kerr plays it up ahead to nobody in particular, and Yambi heads it down.
Oh, that service by Jane just a few seconds earlier. Great service into the area, and there was no one in the middle. Umar was on the far post, but there was no one flashing in the middle to meet that cross, meet that service. If there was someone there flashing in, it would have been an easy free header, and you're looking at maybe the first goal of the match. So tough break for Richmond. Jane doing some hard work to get that service in, but there were two players in front of Umar. Umar was at the far post. Someone has to be in the middle to meet that ball, and no one was there. That's a tough break for Richmond.
Here's Hollingsworth. Looked like he wanted to crank up another long ball, and instead keeps it on his right foot. Now pushes it forward with his left. Walsh will play it back as Pittsburgh tries to develop something out of the midfield. Jane in pursuit of Hollingsworth, but Okai has it now in the middle third.
That's where Okai needs to be. He needs to be that player that bails out the back line when they have the ball a little too long.
On it. Didn't get much on it, however. They still fight for it. It's loose in the box. Still being volleyballed around. And finally, Umar for Richmond is able to come out of there with it.
Man, good patience there by Pittsburgh to find Hertzog. And that's what they need to do. Play the ball out wide, stretch out the defense a little bit, and then quickly back into the middle. That's what they did there with Hollingsworth. And Hollingsworth now, he's growing in confidence. The right back now pushing up into the attack, adding another body to the attack, trying to make Pittsburgh more dangerous going forward.
Robinson made a bit of a mess out of that in the back four for Richmond, and Pittsburgh with the throw-in the attacking third, but they'll bring it back to the midfield. 43rd minute, and we still are without a goal. Each team with a great chance apiece. Kerr punches this ahead. It's played, though, to Bolduc of Richmond. Bolduc in traffic does nicely to send it off to Umar, and Richmond will try and work this forward, but give it right back. Unable to find Umar on the pass.
Yeah, that was the problem there. Troyer, the left back for Richmond, I understand what he's trying to do. There's been a couple of occasions where he's just kind of one time the pass forward, trying to be aggressive, but he's been a little too impatient, and he's cost the team a little bit of possession, turning the ball over. So he's got to hold the ball a little bit longer and then wait for someone to come open and, you know, have shorter passes as well, so that way Richmond can maintain possession.
This ball played into the middle, but right to Patrick McCann, and McCann will send a long ball forward. Jane is going to be shielded off by two defenders, and instead of pushing it back to Mitchell, Jack is simply going to play it. We're expecting just 1 minute of stoppage time here in this first half. This is pushed forward by Troyer, but Pittsburgh able to regain possession in the midfield. Here's a turn, and it's Thompson with a left foot, a chip into the area. Troyer tracks it down, goes off of Walsh, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Strikers.
Yep.
And that's a problem because Pittsburgh has been able to read that and weed that out every single chance. So that's a situation where Umar has to get more involved. Umar has to be more involved, get more touches, and make himself available. When Troyer is trying to play it long to the strikers from his left back position, that's easy for Pittsburgh to defend. But if Umar and Umar make themselves more available, they'll hold up the possession, they'll look more dangerous. So we're talking about bypassing midfields. The back line for Richmond is bypassing the midfield, their midfield teammates, to try to get to Sonny Jane, and it hasn't quite worked consistently for them in this match.
Hasn't been a ton of imagination from either side offensively, and you are seeing why each squad is in the last 6 in the USL, but perhaps in chance here, Jane turns completely around and then has a pass deflected and played away.
Oh, Jane, if he doesn't make that turn, Imora was running unmarked, the right timing in the pass there, and Imora would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Jane, ooh.
Here's Gonzalez with a shot that was a bit tricky for Mitchell, who had to go low to knock it down and then collect the rebound. That was a chance out of nowhere.
Oh, well done there by Gonzalez. It's one of those situations, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, and that's what he did there. Carved out some space, one touch, great technique there by Gonzalez, and well done by Mitchell in goal.
That was dipping and curling away from Mitchell. So we are into stoppage time again, just 1 minute as we anticipated. A handball, and that is not called. And it's played forward. Here's Jane at the edge of the area, but his touch failed him, and Jack is able to recover.
Jane has got to let that ball roll through. Let that ball roll through and run onto it, and then take the first touch a few meters ahead with probably a shot. It's the second time where he's had an opportunity with the ball at his feet, and the first touch was the wrong, the way he executed his first touch was the wrong touch, and it cost his team a chance of scoring. He's been open there, but it's just, he's not making those right decisions with the first touches. He got to do a better job of that.
We're moments away from the whistle that'll send us to halftime. Bolduck. Now it's played into the middle. That's where it's collected by McCann. And there is the first half whistle. So after 45 minutes of action, we've seen some sporadic opportunities offensively, but both teams head to the locker room, knotted up at 0-0. And George, your thoughts on this first half of action here in Pittsburgh?
Well, I think both teams, when they go into the halftime, the coaches, they have to find a way to get the midfield, the center midfielders.
No, on a Saturday night.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Stay low, stay low. Change of speed, explode, explode. Trust it. Very nice, very nice.
You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. You have to stay here for a little bit. Hold for that. Yeah.
In your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Stay low, change of speed, explode, explode.
We can be twins, Jessica. All right.
With George Metellus, I'm Ken Levicka. Glad you're with us for this USL matchup tonight. Pittsburgh and Richmond 0-0 here in Pittsburgh. We will come back and we will bring you first half highlights. Pittsburgh and Richmond, nothing yet through 45. It's the USL.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Few teams in the league are hotter than the Charlotte Independents. The club is currently on a 10-game undefeated streak, which moved it into second place in the Eastern Conference entering Week 20, just 1 point back of the Charleston Battery.
Herrera, he put it in from the corner! Jorge Herrera, the Olympico!
During the run, Charlotte has outscored opponents 23-7. Jorge Herrera has notched 9 goals during the streak, while 2016 USL MVP finalist Enzo Martinez has added 5. In order to run their streak to 11 games this weekend, the Independents have to get past Louisville City FC, a team sitting in third in the Eastern Conference, just 1 point behind Charlotte. Louisville handed Charlotte its last defeat on June 7th with a 1-0 win at Slugger Field. Back in front of their home fans at the Sportsplex at Matthews on Saturday, the Independents will look for a little revenge and potentially the top spot in the Eastern Conference standings. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking?
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Stay low, stay low. Change of speed, explode, explode. Trust it. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. How many times have you done it before? You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. Yep, you stay here for a little bit. Hold for that. Yeah.
And lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Stay low, change of speed, change of speed.
Halftime here at Highmark Stadium, Pittsburgh and Richmond. No score as we get ready for our second 45 with George Metellus. I'm Ken Levicka. Let's go through highlights from our first half of action. And no goals, but certainly opportunities, George.
Yeah, it's all about creating chances. And early on, this is a great effort here for Richmond. It was set up and then left, and then a left-footed effort there by Patrick McCann. And that was early in the match as Richmond thought, you know, gaining some confidence. And when you have the space and opportunity, go for it. And McCann hitting it, and Mitchell in the right place at the right time. And then this move here, Umar is completely unmarked, and he wasn't even marked from the beginning. You could see that no one was around him for about 2 or 3 meters, and he made that run, just couldn't angle that shot in to the near post. And then a chance opportunity here for Pittsburgh with Walsh setting it up for Kerr, and then sneaky run. Hertzog, nobody saw Hertzog coming from that far left side. It's a smart run by Hertzog into space. Great service by Kerr, and he knows he should have finished it, but still a great chance. The best chance of the match, Ken, for both teams. And then an opportunity here. We talked about Raul Gonzalez being the player to watch. Well, he had a quiet first half except for that one. But once again, top of the penalty area with no one marking. Richmond takes the shot there. Sonny Jane had a couple of opportunities with some better touches that could have led to goals or goal-scoring chances.
And a span of 4 of 5 at home where they certainly have to take advantage. This is the lone road game in this 5-match span.
Yeah, if you're 4 or 5 at home, you have to try to get 12 points. You have to win all of them. That wasn't the case against St. Louis. So now after this match, they have 3 in a row. If they can pull off the 9 points there, maybe get a draw at Charlotte, at Orlando, they might be right back in the thick of the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference. So we'll see what happens. But at the home, you have to get all 3 points every time you play.
Here's Pittsburgh's next 5, and we discussed their schedule a bit earlier. That July just brutal for them, playing all top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. But their next 3 games, those 3 teams combined have 15 victories on the season. The schedule is about to get significantly easier if Pittsburgh can take advantage. At Harrisburg, at St. Louis FC, so we continue the road match trend for Pittsburgh, and then home against Bethlehem, back on the road against FC Cincinnati, the U.S. Open Cup semifinalists, and then back home against Louisville City. So again, you're traveling a lot if you're Pittsburgh, but your road to victory a little bit easier based on who you're playing.
Absolutely. If you're looking at that matchup, the next 4 games, 3 of those next 4 on the road. If you want to talk about points, if they can come up with maybe 9 or 10 points in that stretch, they put themselves in a good chance to go to the Eastern Conference playoffs. So that's something to look out for Pittsburgh. Their season is not over yet. They still have a chance.
Let's take a glance here at the Eastern Conference standings in the USL, and Charlotte remains atop the conference, 39 points in the table, 11 wins on the campaign. Charleston right behind them. The Tampa Bay Rowdies and Louisville City are knocking at the top of the table as well, and then Rochester FC, Cincinnati, Bethlehem, and New York Red Bulls round out the top 8, followed by the Ottawa Fury and Orlando City B. Pittsburgh at 12th in the table. Richmond sits at 14th in the USL Eastern Conference.
What is going on with the soccer in the Carolinas?
Yeah, seriously.
They're playing some serious soccer in the Carolinas. I thought the Carolinas was basketball country, but they're playing some soccer over there. Charleston in the south, Charlotte in the north. Good job there for the Carolina squads. Charlotte and Charleston looking like 2 teams that could challenge for the USL title.
In the Western Conference, You have Real Monarchs at 48 points in the table. That is tops in all of the USL. Then San Antonio, Swope Park, Reno 1868. Those are your top 4. And then Sacramento, Colorado Springs, Tulsa, and OKC.
Yep, Real Monarchs had that great winning streak that propelled them into first place in the West. And what, 8-point gap? Doesn't look like they're going to give up #1 seed for the rest of the year. But it is a little bit of a curse to be the team with the best record in the league, because it doesn't always mean that you win the championship.
Nope, not at all. And then expectation tends to play against you a little bit as well once you get in the playoffs. Here are the power rankings, and yeah, there's really no argument with me with Real Monarchs at the top of the power rankings. You have Charlotte and San Antonio tied for second, and then Louisville City, Swope Park, and Charleston. Reno 1868, Tampa Bay tied for 7th. The Rowdies have really played well throughout the last 6 weeks or so, and then Sacramento and Rochester.
Yeah, Real Monarchs deserve to be the #1 team, and until they go down or go through a winless slide, they deserve to be the #1 squad.
Pittsburgh and Richmond is our match here tonight. There you see the view from Highmark Stadium, the river, and of course the downtown area. Just off in the distance, we can see Heinz Field, home of the Steelers and University of Pittsburgh football. Also PNC Park, the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is gorgeous in one of the finest cities in America, no doubt about it. And we're back underway as Pittsburgh and Richmond look for a breakthrough. With George Metellus, I'm Ken Levicka, and we are glad you are with us here on this Saturday night.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, one of the best sports towns.
Undoubted.
Yeah, for sure. One of the best sports towns. I mean, the Steelers, all those Super Bowls, the Pirates. Every team is in black and yellow, so you got to like that as well, yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. Victor Soto has entered for Pittsburgh. So that is our first substitution of the night. Actually, take that back. Romeo Parks is in the match, replacing Jack Thompson. Now we have our substitutions set. So again, Romeo Parks making his 14th appearance this season, and he comes into the match for Jack Thompson.
And Romeo Parks is going to be that left wing. Thompson, zero influence in that first half, so they make the change. Let's see if Parks can have more influence there, especially in attack.
Here is Richmond. One shot on goal for Richmond, the only shot on goal in the first half for either side. There's the aforementioned Parks, or check that, that's Jalen Robinson, my apologies. Jalen Robinson has it deflected out of play, and Robinson with the throw.
With Parks, I think that David Brandt, the manager, the coach of Pittsburgh, is going to try to see if they can generate some attack from the left side.
And there is Parks, who's fouled from behind. 36, a foul on 36.
Yeah, because in the first half, Pittsburgh's best chances came from the right side of their attack, especially with Kevin Kerr, the captain, being at the head of that, or at least being the one that's spurring those movements. Now they want to see if they can get something going on the left side as well.
Here's Washington, as Pittsburgh tries to put something together and earn their first shot on goal tonight. And they will play it back into the midfield. Here's Kerr. Kerr gets by Umar. Kerr, full head of steam, heads to the middle, and he'll feed it to Parks. Parks sends it back out to the left side. See if Pittsburgh can string a couple of passes together. Not a great touch there by Hertzog. And Richmond back on the run. Here's Troyer playing it to the middle. Jane took a spill, wanted a whistle, no foul. Kerr, who's been active tonight per usual, a long distance cross that misses everything. Hertzog was making a run, gives him a thumbs up, but that certainly was not the best ball that Kerr has delivered tonight.
Yeah, Kerr has played very well the number 10 and the captain for Pittsburgh. On the right side, on the left side. In the first half, it was the right side in which he was most effective. Now we're seeing him on the left side. He has that freedom to move where he wants to and go where the flow of the match, the flow of the possession takes him. So Kevin Kerr, to me, has been Pittsburgh's best player so far in this match.
Kevin Kerr, the Englishman, born in Germany, however, has played in 2 different divisions of German League soccer. He's the team leader for Pittsburgh in minutes played. No surprise there. The anchor of that Pittsburgh midfield.
So he's born in Germany.
Born in Germany.
Okay. So it's not Kerr, then it's Kerr, right? You have to say Kevin Kerr.
You're significantly more worldly than I am. You are correct.
I have to say it like that. Although I was trying to do my Arnold voice. He's Austrian, so that doesn't quite work. Yeah.
You're going to start a world conflict.
Oh, boy.
Coming from the left side. Here's a cross into the area, but it found no one until it got to the edge of the box. Kerr tries to wind it up with the left foot. That shot is blocked. Pittsburgh coming in waves here. And retreating with the ball is Danny Earls. Played up ahead to Parks. Parks to Kerr. Kerr has some room to shoot. A deflection, and it's right into the chest of Matt Turner.
Yeah, we're seeing Kerr now that he has that freedom to roam, and now he's going to be a little more aggressive going forward. He was trying to set up his teammates more in the first half, but we've seen a shot that was deflected, and then this one here when he had some space. So Kevin Kerr, expect him to continue to be aggressive towards goal with his own shot, with his own chances, or creating his own chances for himself, I should say, as this second half progresses. And we're seeing left side as well. Parks came on, and he was able to connect with Washington there. So things opening up for Pittsburgh a little bit here.
Yeah, Parks has found some space in the middle to create a little bit. You're exactly right. Yeah. Here's Sonny Jane. Jane, the number 10 for Richmond, earns himself a throw-in.
And remember, in the first half, Taylor Washington was more of that safety valve defensively when Hollingsworth was going forward. With Parks coming in, he pinches in a little bit. That gives Washington the opportunity to go out wide. So little adjustment there by David Brandt.
On the turn, this is Gonzalez. Gonzalez still going, and he is fouled at the edge of the box. This will be a direct free kick. And then you saw Jamal Jack come up and make contact with the referee with his right arm, who then turned around and reacted. Jack is furious. And I wonder if there's a debate here about whether or not what Jack did was purposeful.
Well, he should, with that kind of, let's say, energy toward the referee, he probably should have gone in the book there. I think the referee, Henrik Karlsson, is very, very patient here. Let's see. I think Jack is saying that this is a dive. Let's see. First of all, it's well done by Gonzalez. Is there a dive there? He jumps up over the player. I didn't see too much contact. It's great dribbling there by Gonzalez.
Yeah, there's no contact, I don't think.
It doesn't look like much contact at all. I think you're right, Ken. I think that Gonzalez may have gotten away. Well, he did get away with a dive, and that's what Jack was upset about. But Jack has to be careful, because with that kind of fury toward the referee, you usually go in the book. So
yeah, Jamal Jack got away with one too.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So here comes a free kick. It'll be Jane and Umar. Who's going to take it? The answer is Jane. Left foot, curls it though right to Trey Mitchell. No danger whatsoever from a very dangerous spot.
Yeah, I'm sure Jane would have liked to take this one back. There's the bump of the referee.
Here's
contact.
The bump coming across his chest. And I don't want to speculate about whether or not there was purpose behind that, but that's extremely unintelligent to do something like that and make contact with the official.
Absolutely.
Here's Kerr to the right of the area, cuts it back. Can he send it across? The answer is no. It's deflected. It's a corner.
And Hertzog was coming in late as well, coming in with a late time to run as well. I think that's maybe where he was trying to go with that. But Kevin Kerr, you can see he is the one that is creating the opportunities, that is really disrupting this Richmond defense.
There's been some action in the opening 7 minutes of the half. Kerr across into the area. It's chested down, but Okai couldn't get a foot onto it, and Richmond clears it out of the area. Now Umar, he's pressured by Kerr in the back. Have to be careful here, and he does a nice job. And now a long ball sent forward. Jane's not going to be able to catch up with that.
Yeah, the long balls to Jane have not worked at all in this match.
His size does not lend to that being a great play either. But Jane able to come around Jack. Jack, though, plays him off with that large frame. That was good defensive work from Jamal Jack. Now Parks, the first substitution of the match, came in at the onset of the half, plays it back. And we have a foul in the midfield. Here was Milan Roberts who trucked Siobhan Walsh.
Oh, I think they're saying offsides, though.
It looks, I guess they
that's
are.
Unusual, yeah.
Huh.
Wow, that's for Walsh to be offsides at the center circle in the midfield. That means Richmond's defense backline is playing very high. That's dangerous right there.
And it's especially incredible considering Walsh was fouled from behind.
Yeah, that was unusual.
So he made up a lot of ground.
Yes, just to get back at that ball.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Definitely was a situation where Walsh just unlucky.
Speaking of Walsh, can he get off a right-footed shot? No, he sends it off to the right flank. Here's Kerr. Kerr into the area. Trouble! Walsh up and over the bar. Tried to find Walsh in that huge 6'2" frame. Got his head on it. Didn't make the best contact, but a good opportunity for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is just Walsh using his big frame, and it's a great service and well placed by Kevin Kerr. And Walsh just using his big body to get inside of Jalen Robinson, and he maybe just a little bit too far in, too close to the middle, and so he couldn't get the right angle on the header, the right approach on the header to keep it down and force a save from Matt Turner. But still, Walsh is starting to use his big body to impose himself on that back line, and that's a positive thing for Pittsburgh.
Matt Turner then got his knees cut out from under him. He's okay. Certainly not the most ideal scenario to see 6'2", 203-pound Siobhan Walsh coming hurtling towards you, but Turner took the contact like a champ, and looks like we have some potential cramping here on the Richmond side. And that is Milan Roberts, who looks like he is going to be substituted out. So he will come off. And on comes Connor Sinofsky. So Roberts, who looks like he was beginning to cramp, will give way to Connor Sinofsky.
So like for like there, you have a defender coming in for a defender. Not too much work for Milan Roberts in this match. So comes off. Hopefully it's not an injury that's too serious. That won't keep him out for long.
So Connor Sinofsky comes on for Richmond, and both teams still seeking that first goal. Connor Sinofsky is a native of Pittsburgh, so he's able to play in front of family and friends here tonight. He sees action in the 57th minute. Both teams have
trying to get that a little bit of that flair as well. Unfortunately for him, all the step overs took too long.
Okai, a nifty back heel. He's the one who delivered the shot just moments ago, but he delivered that back heel right to Sinofsky.
All those step overs took too long, and Richmond's defense reorganized.
Jamal Jack trying to play one through. Wanted Hertzog, but too much behind that pass.
Yeah, Hertzog he's creeping. You know, he's kind of being quiet. It's subtle movements, and then when he sees that the space is there, that's when he makes his run or he makes his burst forward. So Richmond better not fall asleep in marking Hertzog, or else he might get another opportunity like he did in the first half that he just missed over the bar.
Here's Richmond, one of the few moments of possession in the second half for the Kickers. And Pittsburgh able to win it right back. But now some sloppy play in the midfield. Umar able to push it ahead. Now McCann finds Rodriguez, or Gonzalez rather, who is able to maintain possession. And now Richmond will try once again to set things up in the back.
Troyer's the left back, and then he's crashing into Gonzalez in the midfield. He is way out of position. And he's lucky, because if there was a quick turnover, the space that he left open, Pittsburgh could have exploited it with some quick passing with a run into that area. So Troyer's got to be much more disciplined, keep his position, keep his lane. He doesn't need to be floating into the midfield like that and crashing into Gonzalez to win the possession. Just keep that back line unison, keep it disciplined, and at least that will make sure that Pittsburgh doesn't get too far ahead, doesn't get too confident in the attack.
Neither of these teams can really afford at this point of the season, where they are on the table, Pittsburgh 12th and Richmond 14th, to play for a draw.
Right.
I would expect to see that the rest of the way we'll see offensive substitutions if this remains scoreless, and perhaps some desperation offense. Here's Parks, and it's just wide. He sent it low. Turner had to go low. I don't believe he got a touch on it. Parks decided to wind it up, and it almost paid dividends.
Oh, well done by Romeo Parks. We've seen him already. Very, very positive influence since he came on at halftime. Great one touchdown by Walsh. He is unmarked in the area, or excuse me, around the penalty area, about 5 meters away from the outside the penalty area, and he one-times it. He probably could have even taken a touch, settled it, and then gone forward, but he was very aggressive. You got to like that.
Jamal Jack, what is he doing back there? Jane almost got around him. Trey Mitchell able to come and clean up the mess, but Jamal Jack, I'm not sure what his plan was, and him and Mitchell are joining one another.
Jamal Jack purposely got in between the ball and the attacker so that Mitchell can come and get it, and I think that's what he was yelling at him for, and Jane commits the foul over the top, but to bail out both of them. But that's what they're arguing about. When Jamal Jack gets in between Jane and the ball, he's yelling at Mitchell to run out and grab it, and Mitchell is hesitating. At least that's what I'm guessing Jack is thinking.
Certainly looked like that.
Yeah, it looks like it, and caused a little bit of chaos there. Communication is so important.
Mora fell down, and it's Hollinsworth who earns his team a throw-in. Pittsburgh has been the superior team since both squads left the locker room. It was Richmond who had the possession advantage at halftime, 52-48. Boldeck misplays it, and it's retrieved by Jalen Robinson. Now Robinson, after Hertzog came over, is going to have to throw deep in Pittsburgh's attacking third. George Metellus, I'm Ken Levicka. No score, Pittsburgh and Richmond. Both teams sitting low on the Eastern Conference table in the USL. Pittsburgh 12th, Richmond 14th. Both of these squads desperate for a victory. Richmond has only won since late April. Pittsburgh hasn't won in over a month, as here's Walsh curling one right to Matt Turner.
Yeah, Walsh had to take that shot from long range because even though Parks was making the run, there was a situation where there was no one else. They had numbers against them. There were more Richmond defenders than Pittsburgh attackers, so Walsh carving out a little bit of space and taking the shot. Smart play by Walsh.
Here's Washington. He sends it to the right side of the area. Hertzog couldn't bring it down. It's deflected, and it's played out by Troyer. Now Troyer on the run. He's dispossessed. They're still battling for it. Umar comes out with it, and he'll push it up ahead to Jane.
Yeah, Jane is trying to well, not trying. He's teetering on that line of offsides. And when Troyer came up, he needed some help in terms of getting the ball to someone. Lost the ball. You want Jane to track back a little bit, help out with the possession, and then maybe you can get Umar running wide and into space on a counterattack like that. Jane is playing so high that there's a huge gap between the midfield and himself, and it's just not connecting there, especially Pittsburgh are doing a good job of getting back, tracking back fast enough to fill at that space and to disconnect anything that's going forward.
You look, though, there are no numbers forward for Richmond.
That's the thing, yes, none.
Even there, you have the ball close to the attacking third, and you only had one player actually in the attacking third. Now, Umar has some room. Umar pushes it into the box. This is Gonzalez, right foot, and he scored! He's able to beat Trey Mitchell. Richmond, a goal out of nowhere. It's Raul Gonzalez.
That is a great right-footed bending effort by Raul Gonzalez. Umar does well. He's surrounded by 3 players, and he's still able to get that shot off. Quick decision, quick thinking by Raul Gonzalez. And quick turn, right-footed bending effort. Some of my friends would call that a golazo.
That was magnificent.
Yes.
Richmond has absolutely been dominated from a possession standpoint compared to Pittsburgh in this second half, but it's Raul Gonzalez who has the breakthrough, and Richmond a 1-0 lead. And now they're threatening for a second. Bulldog, though, his pass was off the mark. Couldn't find Jane. So 1-0. Richmond on top, and now it is full-fledged desperation mode for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's a great finish by Raul Gonzalez. Umar does well to run into space and leave it for Gonzalez, but also Umar continued his run. So that kind of put the focus, or the defenders had to focus on him making the run a little bit. That gave Gonzalez a little bit of space and time to turn and then pick out what he wanted to do with that right-footed shot. So well done by Umar there in terms of continuing his run and feeding Gonzalez in the right position also.
That's Gonzalez's second goal of the season. Also snaps a drought of 167 minutes without a goal for Richmond. So at the 66th minute, Pittsburgh once again maintaining possession. But can they get one by Matt Turner?
Yeah, Richmond right now, they're going to bring everybody. There's Jane. You see all 10 outfield players are in their defensive half. They might put a little bit of pressure, but they want to make sure that they keep themselves organized defensively and that they also don't let anyone from Pittsburgh get in behind them. Try to keep everybody in front of them. I call it the basketball defense. Just make sure you don't let anybody drive past you to get to the hole. And that's kind of the similar philosophy that Richmond want to do here. Don't let anyone get in behind them. The best thing for Pittsburgh might be to go out wide and then try to use their height on crosses. We'll see if that works out. But Pittsburgh, definitely we're going to have a tough time deciphering what should be a stacked Richmond defense here from this point on.
Danny Earls is going to come off, and he'll be replaced by Victor Soto. So Soto comes on for Pittsburgh. That is the second substitution of the match for Pittsburgh, as they continue to try to find someone who can find the back of the net and find Pittsburgh the equalizer.
Yeah, well, for sure now, this is definitely an offensive-minded substitution. Earls was kind of that holding midfielder that was trying to do all the dirty work defensively. But now down a goal, and with, 23 minutes left in the game, you bring in Soto. He's going to push forward. He's going to try to maintain the possession for Pittsburgh and see if they can work out to lead to an equalizer.
Here's a giveaway. Umar plays it back, looking for Jane on a long ball. Nothing doing. Soto, a native of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's a rookie out of Akron. He leads the team with 43 tackles, but they need him to do more than tackling now.
Yeah.
They need him to attack the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. His main job will be, obviously, you mentioned the tackle, so that'll be an important part of what he does. But when you're down a goal and you have a team like Richmond who's going to put all 10 outfield players in their defensive half, you're going to need bodies pushing forward. So his abilities will be important in terms of helping the attack out to try to get an equalizer.
Walsh able to maintain possession to Parks. Parks in the area. What a move. Gets it on his left foot, but he skies it over the bar. He did everything right until the finish.
Oh, great move there by Romeo Parks. And you can see that it is very difficult for anyone in Richmond one-on-one to defend Parks. Just got to keep that shot down. I thought at first when he held the ball and he took it to his right, I thought that was the death there. He had killed any chances of scoring a goal. But then, quick move to the left. Brilliant work there. Right there, I thought, he made the mistake. But he made a quick move to the left, create some space. Just couldn't keep the shot down. Great confidence and skill there by Romeo Parks.
Can Pittsburgh keep up the pressure? They've had no problem with it in the second half, yet somehow they're behind on Raul Gonzalez's 65th minute goal. And now we have a push from behind, and Walsh is extremely upset with the referee.
Yeah, the referee has taken some serious verbal abuse here and hasn't produced a card for that. So you have to applaud his calm and his composure, because most other referees would have gone to the card 2 or 3 times already in this match just for the trash talking.
I still think Pittsburgh is legitimately lucky. They still have 11 men on the field. Jamal Jack, intent or not, certainly could have received a straight red for the contact on the referee.
Yeah, and it's within the rules. It would have been within the letter of the law. You make contact with the referee, you get a red card. So can complain, you would not be able to hold it against Henrik Carlson that he would have gone into the book.
Here's a nice flick on. This is Hertzog to the left of the box. Surveys, sends it into the area. Nobody home. No problem for Troyer. Can Pittsburgh keep it in the attacking third? They'll try and work it back into the danger area. Okai. Nice ball out to the left. A chance here for Washington. Can he shed the defender? He's taken down, no whistle. Washington still battling, and finally dispossessed by Bulldog. Bulldog, the forward, back playing strong defense for Richmond. Tried to find Jane on the counter. Jack able to retrieve it, and Pittsburgh will try and work this out of the back now. Bulldog's been impressive for Richmond. He's been strong in the back while also attacking the goal. That from his forward position. Usually a midfielder, but was up near the top of the formation here tonight along with Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was at the top of the formation. I think what happened is with Jane, well, not what I think, what I've seen is with Jane pushing up now as kind of the lone striker, Bulldog has moved out wide to the right. He started up top with Gonzalez, but over the course of the match with Jane pushing up,
across into the box, headed down by Walsh, but skying to grab that out of midair was Turner. Pittsburgh continuing to keep the pressure on. Hertzog was lurking.
Yeah, that was good for Pittsburgh there, because Richmond, they're going to try to clog the game here with so many players back. So they might have to go to the aerial game to kind of get the ball into the area. It's going to be tough for them to keep the ball on the ground and carve up the midfield through passing, because Richmond is going to play with numbers. So out wide with crosses might be their best chance of getting an equalizer.
Under 20 minutes remain. Pittsburgh looking for an equalizer after Raul Gonzalez with a shocking goal. After Pittsburgh had absolutely overwhelmed and dominated this second half. There have been waves of attacking for Pittsburgh, yet no goal yet. You certainly feel like Pittsburgh has deserved a goal, but unable to finish. And it's been Richmond, the team this season, that's had the most issue finishing, not only between these two teams, but have had an issue finishing unlike almost any other team in the USL, a 7% efficiency rating, shots to goals.
Well, this is where these playoff teams, this is where you find out how good they are, or if they're worthy of making the playoffs. Last 15 minutes at home, down a goal. Can they score to equalize? Maybe even get a second goal to win it. If they're a playoff team, Pittsburgh, they will show it in these next few minutes.
And Richmond has absolutely everybody back in the defensive third. Umar at midfield, and he is pushed from behind, and Walsh called for the foul.
And Mora's put in a hard shift there. He really has put in a hard effort. What's the expression? Yeoman's effort, if you will.
Yep.
Is that the expression? I'm not too good with cliches.
It's
sorry.
fine.
But
it was a good. That was a good effort.
That was a good effort. Okay. But he really has worked hard. Obviously, the assist. I guess you could give him the assist on the Gonzalez goal. But more than anything,
Mora, he definitely has the assist on the Gonzalez goal.
Gonzalez goal, you give him the assist. And just tracking back defensively, putting in that hard work, that's always valuable.
Parks, the second half substitution, trying to find Walsh, but coming out to scoop up that ball was Matt Turner. Walsh working hard. He's been the focal point of this Pittsburgh attack here tonight. Hertzog, that's where you think he may be dangerous as the second option for Pittsburgh, but still nothing for the Riverhounds.
Yeah, Hertzog is It's been very quiet. There's been a couple of occasions where he's flashed into the area, made himself available, but he hasn't really had as many touches as I'm sure Pittsburgh would have liked. It means the team's leading goal scorer, so you want him to see the ball as often as possible. He's been just trying to find his way onto the pitch here and work with Walsh. Hasn't quite worked for Hertzog in terms of the amount of touches, but he's the type of player that's very smart, clever, and with the right service, right timing of the run, he could get it equal.
Look at Bulldog. Bulldog into the area. And he had that chipped off of his ankle at the very last moment. Coming back to make contact with that ball was Toby Adewale, or else it's 2 for Richmond.
Yeah, Bulldog, well done there. We were talking about how he started the match up top with Gonzalez, but as the game has progressed, Gonzalez has moved out to the left, and then Bulldog has moved out to the right. And so they're using those guys' pace to help out defensively as well. And it's worked out so well for Lee Collishaw.
Parks retrieves in the corner. Romeo Parks pushes it off to Hertzog. Takes it right back. Low cross. Cleared away. We'll have a couple of Richmond substitutions here momentarily. Jane on the turn. Jane has Umar if he wants him. Pushes it up ahead. Umar was onside. The pass wasn't there. Jack broke it up, but it's going to go for a Richmond throw. So we'll get these substitutions here momentarily for Richmond as they come on. We'll see Fernando come into the match for Richmond.
Richmond substitution, number 11, Anthony Grant, in for number 10, Sonny Johnnet.
So Anthony Grant is in for Richmond.
Number 71, Luis Fernandez, in for number 14, Udai.
And then you also have Luis Fernando in. Udai Umar is coming off. Anthony Grant will take Sonny Jane off the pitch.
Yeah, Sonny Jane by himself up top for a large portion of this match, probably almost entirely the whole match. Maybe after 15, 20 minutes of the first half, that's when they made that switch to put him up top by himself. So he's been running a lot, hasn't quite been able to be as impactful in the attack as he would have liked. So you bring in some fresh legs in the 14 minutes left in order to see what they can do here, get fresh legs running at it. What could be a very tired back line. We'll see how that plays out.
Anthony Grant, the Jamaican forward, comes on to take Sonny Jane off the field. And then Luis Fernando, the Brazilian, enters the match as well. So Richmond has exhausted all of its substitutions. They're the ones nursing a 1-goal lead. Here's Parks. He'll send a long ball up ahead. Wants Hertzog, brings it down with his left foot, but couldn't control. And Jalen Robinson will send it out of trouble.
Oh, that was dangerous right there. That was the right decision in terms of Hertzog to play that first touch. It was just too heavy right there.
Here's Kerr. Kerr in the midfield. Up to the top of the box. Hertzog nearly had it deflect through. Now a whistle and a foul or a handball, one of the two.
Looks like a handball on Grant. We'll see on the replay, but it looked like Grant, just unintentional handball by Grant.
This is certainly an area where Pittsburgh can put a shot on goal. We'll see who's going to take it.
It's like Romeo Parks. Yep, Parks. He is playing with a lot of confidence right here. And if he could score here, that would be huge.
Romeo Parks will be the one to take the free kick. This will come from a little over 30 yards.
Look out for, see Taylor Washington is lined up to the left of Parks.
Turner sets up his wall. Parks has 2 goals this season. His third would make this match level. Parks plays it through instead to Hertzog. And it is going to be sent over the bar. And it also looks like Hertzog was offside.
Oh, that was.
They had it.
Yes. Cheeky Pittsburgh. That's for sure. Everybody was expecting Parks to send it to goal, shoot it, and instead snuck around the wall to Hertzog, who was unmarked, but he was offsides. That's a tough break for Pittsburgh. Well conceived set piece. Look at Hertzog.
Frustration continues, and he is off.
And the thing is, Hertzog doesn't have to move. He is unmarked. They completely lose him in the mark before the free kick. If he doesn't move, he's on sides, and he has a little bit of time to shoot on frame. So Hertzog does it to himself there, but it's still, like I said, that was a cheeky little free kick set up there by Pittsburgh that almost worked.
Hertzog got a little too eager.
Yes. I think what happened was Hertzog saw that he wasn't being marked, and so he's like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Yep.
And he got anxious, and he jumped off sides. That's a tough break there, but you got to like the cleverness of that free kick opportunity, or play, I should say, by Pittsburgh.
Richmond trying to get out on the counter. They've got to be careful. A missed pass that is dispossessed could lead to a great Pittsburgh opportunity. That nearly was the case there. Troyer sent this out of play for a Pittsburgh throw. Actually, a foul was called. It was Troyer. So Pittsburgh goes back to work, trailing by a goal. Right now, Raul Gonzalez's right-footed curler is the difference in this one. That snapped a skid of 167 consecutive minutes without a Richmond goal. Here's Parks, pushes it to the outside. Trying to put together a shape on this attack here is Pittsburgh, and it's knocked free. Parks goes tumbling, and a foul is called.
Yeah, it's tough for Pittsburgh right now because Richmond just have everybody back, and it's causing hesitation in terms of runs by Pittsburgh. Parks, I think, wanted to make a run, but because they had two bodies in front of him, he couldn't make the run. He had to track back, and that kind of reset the offense and allowed Richmond to reset their defense a little bit. So just dropping all those numbers back, it's making it hard for Pittsburgh to find spaces and decipher what they want to do here to try to get an equalizer.
Pittsburgh having trouble picking out space with Richmond throwing everybody back. Here's a low play through. Okai! We are level! Okai puts it inside the far post. There's the equalizer.
They figured it out. Pittsburgh figured it out, and the big mistake that Richmond made was not tightly marking. You cannot leave a player relatively unmarked in the penalty area like that. It's a great pass by Soto, a great vision to find him, and Okai finishing it. There is no way that ball should get through to Okai if you have 9 players defending. That's poor execution by Richmond and a huge equalizer for Pittsburgh.
Stephen Okai has evened this game up at 1. The native of Ghana, off a great feed from Victor Soto, a second-half substitution, and there's plenty of time for more now. There's still 8 minutes and change left to play.
Yeah, Richmond, if they're going to play 9 players like that in the back and get those numbers back behind the ball, when somebody has the ball in the midfield, you have to be on top of them, and you can't allow Okai to carve out a little bit of space and go unmarked in the penalty area. That's rule number 1 when you're playing defensive or conservative soccer, and they violated that rule. They broke the rule.
Soto to Parks. A short hop, and it's collected by Turner. But it's Soto again, just picking out attackers.
Yep, someone is finding a way to get into that space. Nobody is on their back marking. Look at Parks. Look how much time he has. No one is marking him. No one is on Parks' hip to physically challenge him with the ball. You give any player space like that, they're going to find a way to shoot and score.
Can Richmond come up with some magic here late? Here's Anthony Grant. Played up ahead to Bulldog. Bulldog has earned his team a corner.
The problem with the key to playing defensively when Richmond was up a goal is, okay, you drop 9 players back, but you can't just have people standing there. They have to mark. They have to be aggressive and make sure that no one sneaks in behind them, and everybody has to be communicating, and you can't allow anyone to sit into some space and wait for the ball. That's what happened twice for Pittsburgh, and they got a goal out of one of those opportunities.
Gonzalez, the Richmond goal scorer, will send in this right-footed corner to the near post, punched away. Gonzalez able to maintain. Gonzalez to Grant. Grant chips in across. Grant nearly found a head. It's still in play for Richmond. It's cleared away. And Hertzog Watches as Troyer pushes a long ball forward and pulled down in the box. That was Luis Fernando, and this is going to go for another corner.
Yeah, he's not going to get a penalty call for that. Unless it's you could see the shirt coming off of his body. He's not going to get a penalty call for that. You go challenge big Jamal Jack one-on-one physically like that, it's going to take a lot to win a penalty in that situation.
Gonzalez with the corner once again. Punched free. It's chipped into the ground, bobbled, and brought in by Mitchell. That got tricky for Mitchell.
And the bounces on this artificial turf can play some tricks as well, so well done by Mitchell, keeping his composure.
Here's the dangerous Soto in the midfield, a step over. Now pushes it out wide. Could this be the go-ahead goal for Pittsburgh? Nice defensive play in the back. Richmond working hard. That was Jalen Robinson. And now Oscar Umar is able to win possession. This has been a very, very gritty effort from both teams defensively tonight. Richmond has covered a lot of ground in that back four.
Yeah, especially there goes Troyer. How about that? The left back bringing the ball up through the midfield, making his way all the way to the right side, trying to create something. But less than 5 minutes left, and you get the sense that there might be another goal here in this match. That would be massive.
Both teams looking for 3 points in the table, desperately needed 3 points for both sides as they sit well outside of the Eastern Conference playoff picture heading into tonight. Here's Washington, gives it off to Kerr. Kerr in the midfield, sends it to the goal scorer Okai. And now Romeo Parks pushes it forward. Here's Gonzalez, he's able to win it in the corner. Gonzalez gave it up. An ill-advised play. Gonzalez got away with a push in the back. Still battling as Hollingsworth for Pittsburgh, and he gets called for the foul, whipping his leg around and taking Gonzalez to the turf.
Wow, the referee let a lot go there in that battle in the corner. He let a lot go. You could have whistled a foul on either one of these guys at any particular moment. There's Gonzalez with a push, yeah. Maybe Hollingsworth had an opportunity or pushed on that far side as well. Who knows? But good job by the referee to let it go for a little bit before there was a blatant foul there. See two competitors going for the ball during the battle. You gotta like that.
Neither of these teams will be satisfied with 1 point in the table, with a draw here. Parks comes up with an interception. Now Kerr. Kerr has some real estate to work with. Tries to push it forward. Sends it to the wing. That's where Washington retrieves. Some room in the middle for Hertzog. Now Parks, can he get a shot off? Instead try to play it through to Walsh. Parks got it back. Parks has it on his right foot. Will send it to the outside. Washington retrieves, has room for the cross. Here it comes, top of the area. Nobody there. Cleared away.
The substitutions of Soto and Parks have been the key in the turnaround for Pittsburgh here. And Richmond, they are just marking way too loosely right now.
Soto's taken down. Free kick, Pittsburgh. And an elbow to the head, it looked like, of Patrick McCann. Quick restart. Here's Kerr. Kerr chips it into the area again. Troyer, no problem with that. Continues his strong play in the back. Throw in a dangerous attacking third area for Pittsburgh.
Yes, Soto has done an excellent job coming in, being that player to make those right passes. Hasn't been much pressure on him, so.
Hertzog throws into the box. And nicely done by Turner to come and nab that out of midair as we get lit. We still don't have an indication of the stoppage time. Turner's going to punch this forward.
You could just see the influence Soto has. Soto, he's just getting the possession pressure. He's being that link. He's moving fluidly into space. Kerr is moving fluidly into space. So they just look more of a composed team on the ball. Team that can break down an opponent when they have possession when Soto's in the game. Then look at him fighting hard there to win the possession back.
Grant gives it up to Soto. Kerr will play it back to his center back, Adewale. We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Kerr. Got through defenders, pushes it ahead to Hertzog. He turns, lost his footing, and then he has his pass broken up. Retrieving his Walsh to the right of the area. Walsh using his big frame to try and shield off the defender, Troyer. Walsh has to play it back. Troyer stood his ground as we hit 90 minutes of play in the books, even at 1. Kerr, high ball into the area, and Turner easily.
Hertzog has been trying to be a little too fancy with the last couple of touches. Just kind of keep it simple and control it and then connect with his teammates there. But Hertzog just a little too fancy, trying to get a little too showtime there. You don't need a spectacular goal. You just need a goal. However it goes over the line, that's the most important thing.
And there is the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Do either of these teams have a goal in them? Here's Kerr. Kerr sends it towards the box, and Turner once again. Hertzog was making a run. Turner, though, no problem. And Richmond gets out quickly on the counter. Bulldog will hold it up now. Find some space. Umar off to the left for Troyer. Umar once again surveying. Sends a long ball to the right. Nobody there. Pittsburgh with the throw. Pittsburgh's been better offensively than Richmond in the second half. In fact, significantly better. This will be a dominant number, possession percentage, when we look at our final match stats. But it's even on the scoreboard, and maybe more. Bulldog, can he beat 2 defenders? And finally, it's Trey Mitchell coming up and retrieving. That took him a while to get there with a ball that took a weird skip off the artificial turf.
Yeah, I think he might have learned from the last little, let's say, argument he had with Jack.
And a corner.
A few minutes ago. Oh, this is big right here. This is a huge opportunity here. This is where a Jack, a Adewale, big bodies, tall players can win the game for Pittsburgh here. All they need is the right service. If Parks can get this into the heart of the area and not try to go near post, that could be really dangerous.
Parks delivers the corner to the back post. A takedown in the area. No whistle. It was a drag down in the area. William Yambi would have been the guilty party, but no whistle.
Yeah, it looked to me like Adewale was the one that brought Yambi down here. Let's see, both of them going at it there.
I think you're right. Adewale initiated that contact.
Yep. Little wrestling match there. That's not unusual in corner kick situations to see two players wrestling in the area.
It is getting very late. Hertzog, can he win this ball? He's taken down. Free kick for Pittsburgh. And Hertzog stayed down momentarily. Jalen Robinson checking to make sure that he's okay. Parks will try and swing this in. The sun is almost set on this match. Pittsburgh, one last opportunity to try and win it.
Is there an equalizer? Who's that big body that's going to get on the end of this service here from Parks?
Parks looking at his options. Was a second half substitution. Changed the attack for Pittsburgh in a very positive way.
Looks like Richmond is outnumbering Pittsburgh here.
Parks swings it in. That was a poor free kick. And there is the final whistle. Late drama, an equalizer from Pittsburgh, but both teams need to settle for a point in the table.
Disappointing for Pittsburgh. You're at home against a team who is lower in the table than you. They should have finished their chances. They should probably, I know they feel they probably should have won this game. Meanwhile, Richmond on the road, they get a big road point. That's big for them.
We'll start the post game after this. Pittsburgh 1, Richmond 1. That's your final.
Stay low, stay low. Change of speed, explode, explode. Trust it. Very nice, very nice.
Call 412-DOCTORS for an appointment with an orthopedic specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Can you hear me? Yeah. How many times have you done it before? You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. Yep, just stay here for a little bit. Hold for that. Yeah.
Call 412-DOCTORS for an appointment with a sports medicine specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Raul Gonzalez, a goal for Richmond in the 65th minute. Pittsburgh got the equalizer from Stephen Okai in the 83rd. And that all your scoring tonight. Pittsburgh and Richmond finished knotted up at 1. With George Metellus, I'm Ken Levicka. And George, here are your highlights.
Yeah, early on a chance for Pittsburgh. It was a play where Walsh getting it out wide to Kerr. Plenty of space, plenty of time, bending effort, and Hertzog just missed it. It was a sneaky and clever run by Cory Hertzog. No one in the Richmond defense saw him coming until the ball made contact with his foot and sailed over the crossbar. And then in the second half, Romeo Parks, who came on as a second-half substitute, very, very impactful in this match. And that shot just skips wide. That would have been a great goal for Pittsburgh. Then an opportunity here for Richmond. Out wide for Jalen Robinson, keeping the ball in play. And eventually gets to Umar, who sets up Raul Gonzalez. Look at Gonzalez giving a little bit of direction. You see him kind of saying, go out wide, go out wide. That's where Gonzalez runs. Umar continues his run, and because Umar made that run, continued moving forward, that might have occupied the attention of the defense a little bit, and that gave Gonzalez some space to score. It's a great goal. As I said before, a golazo for Raul Gonzalez.
That rolls off your tongue,
yeah,
George.
I've been practicing. And then a chance here, and Richmond have the lead. They have 9 men back. There's no way that ball should filter through and get to Okai, but it does. And Okai turns and scores, and Victor Soto came on and did a spectacular job as the second-half substitute as well.
So 1-1 your final tonight. The second half picked up a bit after our opening 45. And here are the match stats. Pittsburgh dominant in every offensive area except on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we saw in the first half they only had about it was like 48% possession.
Yes.
They turned it around and got 57%. That is huge when you are at home and you're trying to get 3 points. They didn't get the 3 points, but they had their chances, and they should be encouraged for the next upcoming games.
So a second half that saw Richmond take a surprising lead. Pittsburgh, the hard-earned equalizer, but no winner tonight. For George Metellus and our great crew, I'm Ken Levicka. Thank you for joining us. This 1-1 draw between Pittsburgh and Richmond. These two teams still battling hope alive in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Good night from Pittsburgh. This has been USL Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.
You can take part in voting for tonight's Cleveland Brothers Blue Collar Player of the Game. You can take part in voting for tonight's Cleveland Brothers Blue Collar Player of the Game. Richmond Kickers won. Tonight's Cleveland Brothers Blue Collar Player of the Game is Cory Hertzog. Congratulations, Cory.